fans are disappointed. Why? Because Green Lantern casting is not a dark skinned actor. All right. Let's go to it and then we'll get into the background. Here it is.
Green Lantern got the green light for live action, and Aaron Pierre is our John Stewart. This feels like a monkey spot situation because on one hand, Aaron Pierre is a great actor. You saw him in Rebel Ridge? When he said, "Man, you got me burning through these letters," I said, "Oh, we being black about it." Rebel Ridge showed us that his build and his temperament portraying a military expert made him a great candidate for John Stewart. Problem is, one of these things is not like the other. In other words, colorism. The problem is colorism. Because Green Lantern John Stewart is a dark-skinned black man. And dark-skinned characters being adapted to TV or movies rarely stay that way. And sometimes, depending on the artist, they don't even stay that way in their own comic book. So it's understandable why some fans might feel disheartened. The superhero you grew up with that looked like you finally comes to live action, but they won't look like you anymore. But at least they're on the big screen, and at least it's a great actor. And there's no doubt that Aaron Pierre acted his ass off and auditioned his ass off for this role. This is about casting in a cycle we've seen continuously. Talking about colorism might seem tedious to some, but it has to be mentioned because we keep seeing it happen. And while I wish we could have had a dark-skinned actor portray John Stewart, I'm a die-hard Green Lantern fan. I wasn't joking. So I'm excited to see what Aaron Pierre will bring to the table.
Make sure you check out that brother's channel, Black Nerd Problems, summing up the saga. Great job, young man. All right. So actor Aaron Pierre on the left has been tapped to star in Lantern's HBO high-profile series based on the Green Lantern DC comic. He is set to play John Stewart center opposite Hal Jordan. Pierre landed the John Stewart real part after an extensive search. As Deadline reported 2 weeks ago, in the process, final stages, he had emerged as a front runner alongside Stephen James on the right, which prompted some fans discussion about the long-standing issue of colorism of Black comic book characters. For example, for years, there's been a portion of fans online that have been asking for the character of Storm to be played by an actress that has darker complexion or wasn't racially ambiguous. And throughout multiple mediums, John Stewart has been one of the few Black characters in comics that have been consistently portrayed as having a darker complexion throughout the decades, as you can see there. As many fans pointed out, Neil Adams, the creator of the character, deliberately made the character have darker complexion at that time. Film culture critic and journalist Carolyn Hines wrote on X, quote, "The creator of John Stewart intentionally made him dark-skinned with dark brown eyes rather than light-skinned because he understood the importance of a character who looked like him being that strong." James Gunn had the opportunity to cast someone like Hunsu and failed. And here we go. Yep. Let me say this. I was talking to Senator Turner during the break. Green Lantern is actually one of my favorite superhero characters. All right. And not just because the original casting of the black male, but also because of the way his superpower is engaged. It's engaged through his mental capacities. As long as he can think of the concept, he can then manifest it. That's a very powerful life learning notion. All right, Senator, thoughts?
Says the quantum physicist.
Yeah.
A whole nother show we should do. I hate that Pierre is getting caught up in this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Black Nerd for bringing this.
Yeah, he did a good job. Great job.
He really did. Shout out to the creator and deliberately, because for so often Black people, and especially darker skinned Black people, were not represented in comic books, in movies. I mean, you name it. Again, this is a microcosm of what happens in the real world. We talk a lot about anti-Black racism, racism itself, and not enough about colorism. I am Black from a distance. I am a chocolate sister. In all my beauty and glory, there have been times in my life where colorism has impacted me. It is internalized by the Black community because we have been socialized in these United States of America that has made it patently clear, socially, politically, economically, that the closer to white one is, your beauty was judged, considered, still, even though we made strides, Doc, judged by how close to white you are, and that's your hue, your hair, your physical makeup. Even though folks buying what Black women put out, we are the prototype. Let me just go and throw that out there. And it is another reason why Dr. Richey, why the woman king had to succeed because you have a bubbling brown chocolate sister by the name of Viola Davis that
Yes.
defied all of the stereotypes. She understood, the director, the writers understood why that movie had to succeed. And it wasn't just because it was her, but it's because they cast darker skinned Black women in leading roles. Now they had the whole mosaic because we come in all the colors.
Yeah.
All the colors. But it was especially important because Viola Davis was the lead. I hate that we still talking about this, Doc. And Rebel Ridge, let me tell y'all something. Brother Pierre played that. So if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Again, I hate that he's being caught up in this, but if this gives us the opportunity to have robust conversations about colorism and why we all have a role to play to eradicate it, especially Black people, we coming all we beautiful, baby. That's just it.
That's right. And
But we got to deal with Doc.
that's right.
And
don't let people.
Day, believe it or not, it does.
Yeah, it happens. And we can't let people play that game. Right. So when you hear it said, or when somebody's playing in that playground, you call them out. You call them out. Don't engage in any conversation of colorism. And when there is a conversation of colorism, I advocate that you call it out just like you would call out hardcore racism, because at the end of the day, it's disturbing and it is disruptive to our ability. That's right. And it hurts. It hurts.